The greatest. But no, this game is not about Batman. It's about the Joker. And the Joker is going to give you the greatest review of all time. I'd like to welcome you to Whity Batman Review.
Right off the bat, you get it? Off the bat. Anyway, you'll notice Arkham City has a lot more villains, and most of them are trying to kill you. As always, the main mastermind in this one would be Hugo Strange, but honestly, besides the opening and closer to the end of the game, he stays quiet for the most part, sometimes announcing his evil genius plan. The real showrunners would be Joker, Penguin, and somewhat Mr. Freeze. The rest of the villains play kind of small roles, and sometimes so small that they feel like the reason they put them in there is just to beat their ass. The story really revolves around cures and countdowns that will change the world forever. By the end of the game, you'll probably guess what happens. Remember, you're Batman here. But I won't lie, some of the twists are actually pretty interesting and came as a surprise. On top of that, the voice acting for the most part is absolutely amazing and really bring to life most of the characters. I'm not a fan of the Batman voice at all though, and once again hurts the overall voice acting. Some say this is Batman due to the 90s cartoon. I say I read the comics, and his wooden voice makes Batman come off extremely lame. No emotion at all. I'm not saying Batman's voice in the movies were any better, but I like the 90s movies Batman voice a lot more. The story in general will make any Batman fan burst with joy after seeing all the villains on screen. I was excited at times and found a few twists pretty interesting. But again, the lore of Batman can be much better explored and so much more depth and make it more mature instead of just throwing villains at you over and over again. Overall, it's fun and pretty exciting story, but it's not the deep story I've been really waiting for Batman to have.
Getting your ass kicked 101. Seconds out.
The city in Arkham City looks absolutely amazing. While most of it is dark and moody, all looks unique, each location giving a different look to the overall city and making each section different. It's not the biggest city to explore, but the interesting one nonetheless. Batman looks fantastic, the villains look great, the enemies even for the most part look pretty good, and some of the mini bosses actually are interestingly designed with no second hand. I don't understand that. The detective vision looks sick, and it still gives you that awesome vibe of being the true Batman. I could complain about some of the stiff movements or the spaz out movements that the bad guys have after you beat them down, but they're so small that it would make me look like a bitch if I bitched about it. The gameplay is a big one, so I advise you to sit back, grab a bag of popcorn, and let's get down to it. The combat in Batman is awesome. It's still free-flowing fighting, so you'll bounce off one enemy to the next in a beautiful motion, counter with such ease, and do brutal finishing takedowns. Honestly, it doesn't change that much from Arkham Asylum, but it never really had to. The introduce of more gadgets to combat and adding a beatdown movement in which literally you go like a Super Saiyan on an enemy and punch the fucking guy till you either uppercut him or smash your knee into his stomach is a stunning finisher. I really love the brutal feel of the combat, and though I said it's too easy in the last game, it remains largely the same to pull off a lot of the moves easily. They seem to have upped the enemy count though, making it a lot, more difficult to counter everything and making you feel like Batman when you whoop down some 30 odd enemies. The parkour in the game works well enough. I can't say I'm a huge fan of it, and I feel Assassin's Creed and Infamous do it a lot better. Just the feel of those two games gives a better and smoother parkour feel. Batman does it well enough and you won't flip out much, but the movements can feel stiff at times, and I can't say I was the hugest fan of the gliding. Still, it's not a major flaw, but I could say that I did not fall in love with the parkour of this game. It's more fun to actually fight than getting to the fight. The stealth, on the other hand, still remains one of my favorite elements of Batman. The way they blend stealth and combat is so well done. Once again, you'll probably enter detective mode and take a look around the situation. Most of the time, the room will be filled with guards on different levels, and you'll have to find a way to take them all down. maybe take the one down on the lower level, alert the others, then shoot up to the top, and while 4 other guys are checking down on the bottom, you can take out the guy that's still on top. And repeat the sequence. It's a way of feeling like the ultimate predator, and the way it works is so well done that Batman really nails the stealth part down. The map system in this game sucks balls. It has a weird way of doing it, and most of the time finding locations has to do with following a meter of some sort. Except its meter is sometimes made of numbers. And you may be going the right way, but you're not going the certain way, making you feel like you're really going the wrong way. In which case, sometimes finding places can be a real pain. I'm sure the purists out there will say, well, this is part of being Batman, sir, exploring. And I'll say, it's effing annoying. Catwoman becomes playable if you buy the game, and I'm glad I did. I love Catwoman's gameplay. Climbing buildings and swinging across them is definitely a nice break from Batman's gameplay. I actually prefer her parkour to everything else of Batman, and it makes me want to beg Rocksteady to make a Spider-Man game. Catwoman shares swift combat of Batman, and it's so nicely done with the stealth that it really isn't a big change from Batman in terms of combat, but it never had a change. But I have to say, I was really impressed with her gameplay and really wish that they actually had more parts of her gameplay throughout the story.
Strapped to a missile.
The last thing I'll speak about in Batman is the level up feature and the gadgets. The level up feature is always a nice welcome addition to the Batman universe, and you'll spend your XP when taking down enemies to upgrade Batman with moves, gadgets, and defense upgrades. Overall, the nice small RPG feature is a lot of fun to use. Now the gadgets, I'm 50-50 on. While I love some of the new additions and the overall feel of them, it makes you feel even more like a Batman. Now, on the flip side, there's sometimes so much that it makes you feel like they're using way too much, and you're feeling, oh my god, what the fuck one did I use to do this, and which one did I do to do that? And sometimes more just isn't better. So, now the ultimate question. Did you enjoy Batman? Yeah, I did a lot. The flaws kind of remain the same from Arkham Asylum. The story once again doesn't live up to the rest of the game despite having a fantastic cast. The stiff movements on the game kind of hurt the parkour at times, and the mass amount of gadgets can be more annoying than fun. But honestly, a lot of these are small problems for most, and they affect overall my opinion of the gameplay, but maybe not yours. So if these problems sound so minor that they won't affect you at all, by all means, ignore my talk of flaws. The game gives you a robust amount of gameplay with tons of side quests, riddles, and just a nice lengthy main story to go through that you can spend upwards to 30 hours, if not more, playing Arkham City. Plenty of unlockables and challenge rooms to do, and with more character packs coming out like Nightwing and Robin, you'll be returning to Batman some more, or at least I will. I'll end this review with this. Batman Arkham City is an amazing game. It's held back by a few problems, but it topples Asylum easily. Nothing from Arkham Asylum was really missed in City, in my honest opinion. While I don't think it's the perfect superhero game, it's probably the best licensed superhero game I played. Sorry, Bats, but yo, Cole's the baddest and strongest around. You try taking down the beast. Anyway, I'll end the review by handing it over to my good friend Joker to give the final score.
You're safe now.
Pains me. Batman is quite a good game. And though he thinks he's the best, I kicked his ass quite a few times in this game. So with that, I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10. Pretty good, Bat. Next time, maybe they'll make a Joker game. Everybody likes the Joker. Well, now that they got rid of Mark Hamill, I'm basically nothing but stuff. It should be great. I'll see you later. Good job, Batman.
You take my heart, pull it apart. You're an artist. You run away, leave me in the dark. Like I don't deserve you.
Man, why do I do that retarded voice? It doesn't even sound anywhere near Joker. Man, you should work on that. Maybe, Batman, you should join the N7 and be the Mass Effect team. How about that, Batman? How about that? You want to go in space, Batman? Batman doesn't have a cool sidekick like Harley Quinn. Oh yeah, Harley Quinn, you got Robin, you little sticky dicky Robin. I can just stick my dick in Harley Quinn. How about that, Batman? I give you a 9 out of 10. I have the most retarded voice ever for Joker. It doesn't make sense. He doesn't even have that voice. I hate my voice. Yeah, blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. No 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 Batman!